Hello, fellow YouTubers. This morning I have my collection of whatever I have left as far as the Spotmatics, the Pentax line. I just want to share with you all throughout the years some of the Spotmatics, the Pentaxes, some of the K-mounts that I've uh, collected and fixed and sold off and collected again and fixed and sold off, and just wanted to showcase some of the ones that I do have left. Uh, you can consider, I consider these Spotmatics as some of the, essentially to me, it is the unsung hero of yesterday's cameras, right? The 35 millimeter, right? It seems like they've been forgotten, except for a few people that still recognize them, the uniqueness of them. But in my personal feelings is that these Spotmatics are superior in build quality, finish, dependability as far as like the mechanics of it, compared to like the later K-mounts that Pentax brought out. Uh, I used to have a lot more Spotmatics than this, maybe about 4 or 5 more that I had in my collection, but I sold them off, and then somehow mysteriously I just saw them again, and I just brought them back into my collection, fixed them and whatnot. So today I just want to share with you guys all some of the stuff that I still have left over that I tend to keep, and so we'll go over these. So first of all, let's start with the Spotmatic. This is one of my very best Spotmatics. This is the Honeywell Pentax, which is Honeywell brought them in as the distributor for stateside. So you won't see Asahi here, but you'll see just Honeywell stamped on it. But this is a beautiful condition, really no scratches at all. The gentleman that I bought it from really took care of it, and there's really nothing wrong. The meter still works really good, which is strange, because more than likely these cameras, the meter is the one that over time just kind of just goes out. Either they are not functioning at all, or they are like way off. So that's something about that's the Achilles heel of the Spotmatics, is the meter. But as far as other than that little hiccup, I feel that, like I stated before, the Spotmatics always have a special place in my heart as far as camera wise, 35 millimeter wise, because the build quality is superb. The metal and all the parts that they put in this camera from the 60s is still really good. They hold up well. The speeds tend to hold up well. Not many problems can go wrong with a Spotmatic, unless someone like really did not take care of it. But other than that, for majority of the ones that I find, they are still, the shutter speeds are still pretty accurate, other than the metering going wrong. But other than that, these things are really robust and really well built. So that is what I really like. That's what I tend to go after, these Spotmatics, when I do see them. Even though I sold so many off already for my collection, these I grabbed again and started up the collection again on these Spotmatics. The Pentax line, I think this is probably the best line that Pentax ever brought out. And this is back from the old days, way before the K-mount series that they brought out. So that is why I have a soft spot for these Spotmatics. Very well built. Let me just quickly go over what I have here. This is the Honeywell Edition, which is the stateside. And so I really like this one because it's super clean. I mean, the guy that had it before me took really good care of it. He hardly used it, and so I just had to do a little CLA to just get it back into really good shape. It came with a really nice case that was not even like destroyed. This lens is a really nice super coated Takumar. There's not much yellow in this lens. That's why I kind of like grabbed this lens, because it was just a fabulous lens. All the other lens, which I will show you in a little bit here, has a little bit of yellowness to it, but this one just did not have that much yellowness to it. So I paired this 51.4 with this Honeywell, and it's in beautiful, immaculate condition. I mean, it's just immaculate all over. Put this back on here. The other Spotmatic I have back here is actually a donor body. I was able to take out, let me open this up here, if I can get it open. That's what happens when you don't have any nails. So I took out the front lens mount, and I was going to get some parts from this. I had the top off and grab some parts from this one, because the parts from this one, this camera body was not working. And so I took some of the top plates and bottom plates and I switched them over to this other one over here. So I've been swapping parts off from this one, this old Spotmatic. There seems to be some sort of jammed mechanism in this one, which I can now revive. So I'm just keeping some of the good parts from this camera for the other, like this one. Put this one back. You can see the parts back there. But this is the other black one. The body was working perfectly. It's just that it has like some internal components I need to take out from that one. So I put it in this one, and then this one is just working fabulously. I have some film in here right now, some Tri-X in here, but fabulous camera. Everything works nicely. So this is a little bit bruising here, which is fine, but I love the black paint Spotmatics. They don't hold up as well as the chrome versions like this, but the little bruises and like the paint, brushing off here just makes it look so much more unique, and it's such a beautiful camera. And you can see the the yellowness in here, the lens here, which is the coating that they used at the time, was a little bit radioactive. Nothing to kill you, but it just has this yellow warm glow to it. And so this is the other Spotmatic I just kind of like. The meter in this one is obviously not working, which is sad, but mechanically this is in perfect shape. You can see this top here cover is an SP2. On the body itself is actually just a regular Spotmatic. So, but they fit. Put this one back. I really like this one. It just looks good, feels good. It's got little dents and dings here, which is great. It makes it look like it's been well used, and it functions perfectly. Now, the newer ones that Pentax came out was the key mounts, and I have here an MX. This one's also been very heavily used, but the function on this camera is superb. The metering is super accurate. I've metered this against my handheld Sekonic, and it's spot on. I was surprised at how accurate this meter in the MX was. Really beautiful camera. Teeny compared to like the Spotmatics that you'll see here. Shorter that way, and height wise it's also a lot shorter. Really compact, good to grab, but this one's hefty, nice and robust, so that's why I like this one. Got enough, it's big enough where your hand can grip it nicely, and it's got a good weight to it too, which is good if you're trying to hold it steady. This one is a little bit more on the light side. But the viewfinder in here is beautiful. It's super bright, much brighter and bigger than the Spotmatics, which is what I like this. That's what the #1 strength of this MX is, because of that. The cocking mechanism here doesn't feel as robust as the Spotmatic. Same speeds, but everything's like shrunk down. I wish this was built better, like the Spotmatics. The Spotmatics just feel as if it's a finely tuned machine. When you cock it to fire and stuff, it's just so much better than these newer K-mounts. Like this one's like, it feels flimsy. Go back to this. Look at that. It's like smooth, right? Compared to these K-mounts. So So this is the MX, which is another one in my collection that I love because compactness. The metal here doesn't seem as if it's as robust as the Spotmatics. This one is super hard. I could not put the dents back out, fix the dents. This one you could, you know, if it dented, you could probably tap it from the inside out again. But it's not that hard compared to the old Spotmatics. Like I said, the film advance here doesn't feel as well built or designed as the Spotmatics. But I like the compactness of this. If you're traveling, you want a compact camera, 35mm SLR, yeah, this would be the one to go to. Now, also in this collection, Pentax of mine, is this ME. If you only had one and you're a lazy shooter and you don't know anything about photography or how to set f-stops and whatnot, the ME and the ME Super is probably your go-to camera. The only reason why I would not recommend this model to fellow Pentax users out there is that the electronics on this are prone to fail. I've just seen so many of these out in the parts bin, the ME and the ME Supers. When they work, back in the day, they work fine, but they have a lifespan and they will expire. It's not like the old Spotmatics here, you know, that they just keep going, unless like this one back here has been really abused and it's being used for parts. But other than that, more than likely, whenever I come across a Spotmatic, it's some easy fix and they work again, except for the light meter. This ME is compact, just like the MX. It's actually a little shorter than lengthwise, but the same height. Same level of brightness as far as the viewfinder compared to the MX. Great little camera. It's just that when it works fine like this one, the accuracy of the meter and stuff, when it works like this one, that's why I kept this one, is that it was still pretty accurate and it worked fine. It works fine right now. But who's to say a year from down the road from here today, this may end up in the parts bin or go to the landfill because the failure of the electronics. So if you like an aperture priority, easy to point and shoot camera, without all the knowledge of photography, the f-stops and stuff like that, the ME and the ME Super may be your ticket. But for me, I just kept this one because on lazy days where I need to just be lazy about, you know, not think about too much about what to set the cameras at, I tend to either grab this one just as a secondary backup camera, or if someone wants to go shoot with me and they have no idea about how to work cameras, this is the one that I usually hand off to the person going out with me to use. And so it's compact, it's easy to use. That's why this one's here. But if I had to, and then the next thing is lenses. Now, most of these, as you can see, this one's also a 51.4. This one is also a 51.4. As you can see, I've amassed a number of these 51.4s. This one is a 51.4. Beautiful. You see the yellow coating on there? So I've got 51.4, 51.4, 51.4. This one I saw was a really nice condition. This is a 105-28. And the reason why I picked up this one is because I didn't see any yellowness. The coating looks nice. The glass is very clean. Super compact. I mean, not much bigger than the 50. The barrel is actually, the diameter of the barrel is actually smaller than the average 50. Really compact, and the optics are superb on this one. This one reminded me of the old Zeiss 58 f2 Biogon, where you preset the aperture over here. So if you preset this top ring to like 16 or 11, you know, the only maximum you'll go to is what you set at. So I thought it was pretty unique. I think this is a copy of this design here is actually a copy of a Zeiss Biotar. I could be wrong, so leave your comments below. But Other than that, it's a very, very well-made lens, and so that's why I kept this one. I'm not usually a telephoto guy, but I just saw this one. I just thought, man, good condition. I just gotta have this Takumar M42, so that's why I picked that up and how it ended up here. These are the two lenses here on the K mounts. Of obviously, this is a take this rubber hood off. This is the beautiful f51.4 Pentax M. So this is really nice condition, and it works well with this camera, so it stays here. This one over here, this lens here, this is a 51.7, and also beautiful condition. Very nice. A little bit shorter than the 51.4, and so I figured the compactness of this lens matches well with this ME body here. And back here on the black Spotmatic here is also another 51.4. Very clean condition as well. You can see the yellowness in there a little bit. Beautiful. Beautiful for black and white. This yellowness, actually, sometimes I feel like it's a substitute for a yellow filter, you know. It's about 1.5 stops to 2 stops. You know, you gotta compensate for that. But the black and white pictures is just lovely. Not so much for color. You'll get a yellowness into your color film, but your pictures will turn out a little bit more yellowish than what you may like, unless you like that look. But I usually shoot these older yellowing lenses with black and white film, and they just are phenomenal. But this is a 51.4 again, so you can see I have a lot of 51.4s. And again, this one over here is just a parts camera. One special lens that I need to note here is this one here. This is the famed 8-element Super Takumar. This is the one that had, like, I feel definitely, along with other reviewers and people on the internet, feel that this is actually the much sharper, more desirable Super Takumar, the special 8-element one. So I have this one here, and I've had this one for a long time. I never knew when I first bought this one from the guy. I didn't know much about it other than it was with a bunch of other lenses, and I just bought the whole lot. And so I had no idea that this one was the special creme de la creme, or the special one of the bunch, because until I had it for a few years and I did some research as far as what are the differences between all the 51.4s, this one turned out to be the special one, because you'll see all the notes here. The little mark is on the right side of the 4. You also see that these manuals marked as M and A instead of the auto manual. What I have back here is an adapter, K-mount adapter, that you can put this M42 lens. See, this is the original Pentax K-mount adapter, so you can put your old M42 lenses onto the newer K-style mounts, cameras. Put that back on there. But this is a beautiful, phenomenal lens. Very sharp, black and white, just beautiful. And so that's why this lens will probably never be out of my collection, or always stay. Regardless if I lose all the cameras, this lens will stay. It'll adapt very well to digital, you know, cameras of today. And so this one's special. But compared to these other ones, these are not the 8-element. These are all 7. This one, that one, that one. Nothing special other than they're very clean and beautiful to hold in your hands and to just look at if you don't use them. But other than that, the build quality on these are superior compared to like these K-mounts, M, A's. These old Takumars are just phenomenal. The build quality, they just don't build them like this anymore. So when you see these, when I see these, I tend to pick them up if it's in good condition. I tend to pick them up and just put them on the shelf and collect them. So I used to have a bunch more. I sold them all off, and then somehow, miraculously, I found these back into my possession. So that shows you how much I like these old Spotmatics, these Pentaxes, these lens from the Takumar days. So there you go. If I had to pick out the ones to just shoot every day, would be this MX and this black Spotmatic. Somehow I'm just attracted to the black finish. It just, when it's beat up and it's bruised like that, it just makes it all even look better. So I like that. The clean and cut one like this one over here tend to sit on the shelf. Yeah, the silvers I'm not too fond of, especially when it's like this clean. They just kind of tend to sit on the shelf. But these two over here are the ones that I will tend to grab and head out for the day with. This one and this one. So I like them all. The optics are phenomenal. So just wanted to briefly show you guys what my collection is. Thanks for hearing my ramblings, and any questions and comments, put them down below. Thank you.